Pombo and Milliken. Summer edition. Monday, 12 to 3. Talking baseball, basketball, and football with just a little soccer and MMA in the mix. WMLN 91.5, Milton, Boston.
Jamal Corner, Reuters. Steph, given kind of the degree of difficulty of the last couple games, the comebacks, kind of not to mention, you know, the underdog status, if you will, that you guys have kind of taken on since Kevin's injury, does that make these last few victories just that much more satisfying?
I don't know. We've been in this situation before, chasing the finals appearance, and it's kind of hard to separate all the different narratives. It's just about winning and doing whatever it takes to win. So we're going to keep that same mentality no matter what's thrown at us. And, again, we're one win away from 5th straight finals. Like, a lot goes into that, and you can spend all day talking about all the different storylines. It's just you got to win games.
All right, Pombo and Milliken, we're back. Second summer episode.
Second summer episode, yep.
God, we out here. Sorry we're running a little bit late. We had some radio meetings going on.
Yes.
But, you know, we're not going to not show. We're kind of required to after we finish with finals and everything.
Yes.
This is the stuff that keeps us going. But, so we started off, you guys heard that clip from Steph Curry there. We're going to go right into Golden State, who now leads the Trailblazers 3-0. But you know why I like that quote a lot from Steph?
Why?
Very Tom Brady-esque.
Yeah, Steph Curry, I don't want to call him underrated by any aspect, but he
was underrated for a bit.
He's a guy that has had to deal with a lot of scrutiny, a lot of criticism over the years. We all know how much of a three-point shooter he is, but he's so much more than that.
No.
He's a great passer. He has got great handles. He's a good leader. He's a great teammate.
The biggest thing, though, since he's gotten to Golden State, he's established that culture of being unselfish. You've seen it. He's turned a guy like Draymond Green, who when he first came into this league was a bulldog who didn't care. He wanted his own. That was it. Let me get in here. I'm going to get rough. I'm going to call for fouls. Whatever happens to everyone else happens. But he's going to go get his own. He's going to play his way. He's turned Draymond Green into one of the most selfless dudes in the entire NBA.
Yes, Draymond Green's having a great series.
It just speaks. There's not many players, and, you know, a lot of people want to act like they were big Steph Curry fans when he was coming out of the draft. There was a lot of hate following his name. And, you know, he dealt with a lot of injuries early in his NBA career, still deals with them. But for everything he's accomplished, he's chosen to pass up his legacy because he could truly be considered one of the greatest players overall of all time.
He still might be.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with you there.
He's the greatest shooter of all time, in my opinion. And I think in about a month from now, he's going to win his 4th ring.
Yeah, and, you know, the way things are looking, you know, I don't believe KD is going to be good enough to play, or at least effective enough. He could go ahead and go get a finals MVP here.
Yeah.
What people have held against him is Kevin Durant's went and got the last 2.
If he wins this year, he'll be 4-1 in the finals.
Yeah, you can't dispute that no matter what. You have a player here who has decided to, you know, in a lot of ways, at least sacrifice the, you know, we remember when he went and won the MVP before Kevin Durant came. You first unanimous MVP.
Yes.
People like throw that out and don't even think about it. Steph Curry went and did that, something nobody else had accomplished. And now, you know, he passes the baton to Kevin Durant, lets him do his thing. Here, you know, you at least on the court in terms of scoring and stuff, you lead the way. We all know Steph is a leader, but there's no other team in sports that I think could function like this if they lost a player like KD.
Yeah.
And not even in terms of just the success they have on the court because of talent, but in terms of making the team come together and look more united than ever.
So does that mean Steve Kerr is an actual good coach?
Yes.
I think so too.
Steve Kerr's been a good coach. I think people want to pretend, listen, if you got offered all these different assets, if you were anybody and you could add another star to your team to make yourself better, you're going to do it. Who would turn Kevin Durant away?
I agree. Steve Kerr, I think, is underrated in my opinion as well.
It's partially because he missed time and Mark Jackson obviously stepped in and done a good job. Yeah.
He's never had to deal with a depleted roster. Not his fault. He's always had stacked rosters per se, but I think he's had to deal with a lot of scenarios that dynasties wouldn't have to withstand if it wasn't for him. You have to look. KD's obviously been injured throughout time. Steph Curry's had his fair share of injuries as well.
Plenty.
Yeah, they've had a rotating bench the last 2 or 3 years. Guys like Sean Livingston, Jonas Jerebko now.
Look at Cook now.
Yeah.
Damian Jones coming back after being hurt most of the year. Like
Kevon Looney. Like, they've had a whole cast of characters here. Zaza Pachulia.
Guys who got clowned. Jerebko's over here balling out, Jason Pombo.
Yes, the Swedish Larry Bird.
But all these guys, their bench was clowned all season long. And don't get me wrong, statistically, they were bad. They were at bottom of the league. But they've come in, and their bench is now one of their biggest strengths on this team. Iguodala, before he's hurt right now. He's questionable for Game 4. He shouldn't play. I wouldn't force him into that position. But he hit, 5 open threes at one point?
Yeah, he's been awesome.
Or 5 threes in one game. Like, people had torn down Iguodala. No. When you have a guy like Kevin Durant on the court, so many people have to give up their shots. You don't realize it. And unfortunately, a lot of the talent on the bench, including Steph and Clay, when they're on the court, have given up a lot.
So I don't think they're better without Durant, but I think Curry is more valuable to the team.
I think their
Durant.
chemistry is better without Kevin Durant.
Could be. I just, in terms of winning the series against Portland,
do you see how happy?
I don't think they even need Durant.
No, without a doubt they don't. And for the finals, I believe if you can get Kevin Durant, you're going to probably need him to face the Bucks. So,
I think so.
You know what I'm saying? I think right now for that team, I think they're never going to be as efficient without a guy like KD, but I think there's a ceiling there that can be reached that maybe is even a little bit higher, purely off of this is actually a team playing together.
I agree.
And sometimes in the postseason, that can be stronger than having a star player on the court.
Yes.
And as much as I like Kevin Durant, nobody can deny at this point the weight of his looming free agency, what its weight on these guys.
Yeah, and I think with them succeeding so much, it makes it more and more likely that Durant bolts in the offseason, whether it's to New York, Brooklyn, or anybody else.
You'd be upset, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't be upset, but
you'd feel less important.
In terms of legacy, in terms of where I want to be, well, I think Durant wants to be good to go when it's all said and done. I think if he wants that to truly happen, then he has to leave.
Yeah, without a doubt. Because now you're looking at a team, especially
if he doesn't really care about that and he just cares about rings and all that, which is fine too, then yeah, I wouldn't leave. And
the truth is, if that was it, those burner accounts wouldn't exist.
Yeah, that's the point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Durant got more heat than he thought he was going to get when he went to Golden State in the first place. There was stories that he didn't leave his room for a week, or he didn't leave his house for a week.
Listen, when he made that move, don't get me wrong.
Everybody was surprised.
I didn't take it. I never saw it as this guy. A lot of people called him a lot of awful names. Coward. Couldn't do this
everybody
stuff.
went at him. Yeah.
Listen, if you have a chance for success like that to go get those rings, chase those opportunities, because no matter what, this dynasty will be remembered throughout history.
Yeah.
It's not going to be something that fades. But at some point, you do have to prove yourself. You have to go do something for your own instead of just the overall success factor.
I think he will in the offseason.
100% agree.
Not sure where he's going to go yet. I think New York's probably the front runner right now, but I think there's a few probably teams that are wild cards per se.
Should we save that for when we get into
that's fine.
Our offseason predictions? Real quick on the Trailblazers series. Overall, we've seen Andre Iguodala, Kevin Durant, Boogie all go down. Golden State's still easily taking the series. Damian Lillard at this point. Rumors have come out that he's injured. He's playing with a separated rib.
He's been awesome this series, but I think it's finally time for Portland to pack it in here.
Yeah, him and CJ McCollum's impressed me a lot.
Yeah, he's been awesome.
Damian Lillard goes through these
They're feisty.
Yeah, Damian Lillard goes through these little shallow moments where at times he gets really cold and nothing works, and he can take himself out of the game. I think that's what makes him different than a lot of other kind of explosive point guards. And just to see CJ McCollum step up, it shows that Damian Lillard is not a one-man show, and I felt like it got portrayed like that for a while. It's not just him. He's not doing this. It's not a solo mission. I just think Portland, they need another piece. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Probably a couple more pieces, but at least another superstar there.
Yeah.
My favorite part of the series, honestly, has been the Steph Curry stuff.
Yeah, that's been awesome. Seth Curry, obviously, he's been to 6 different teams in the last, 8 years.
Coming from the D League, had to go through tryout.
Yep.
Steph got him his tryout.
Yeah, he's bounced around, and he's had a great series. He shot the ball well. He's had to defend his brother, and it's been really cool to see him have some success because, in all reality, he's a good shooter. Everything else he's not great
His
at.
stats just jump when Steph and him are going head to head.
Yes.
And it's expected. I don't have a brother personally, but Jason, you do.
I do.
Shout out Justin Pombo.
Shout him out, yes.
A scenario like this, and with your parents and everything, do you feel like you'd enjoy it, or it'd be?
I think I'd like it, for sure. It'd probably be awkward in terms of family because you don't necessarily want to root for anyone particular, but it's an odd situation.
Like when Seth had the steal.
Or how about when Jim and John Harbaugh coached each other in the Super Bowl?
Those it's
Eli Payton never met in the Super Bowl, but something like that.
Moments like that, it's hard to really go one way. You're rooting because no one wants to see anyone get embarrassed, and I feel like there's a different element here because both of the Harbaughs very successful coaches.
Yes.
Manning's obviously. Seth is always been clowned. he's the Walmart Steph Curry.
Yeah, he actually went to Duke.
Yes, exactly. He went and did his thing at Duke, and
his brother Steph only went to Davidson.
yeah. But Seth showed he stepped up. He made a couple big threes down the stretch. In the fourth quarter, he was guarding Steph pretty consistently. He was guarding a lot of different guys on that team.
Yeah.
Seth Curry, people need to chill. Some people are getting a little too excited about Seth Curry, thinking this is the emergence of another Steph. But no, he's going to be a good bench piece in this league. He'll stick. He's not going to fall out. There's a reason he's had the opportunities in recent years.
Yeah.
But otherwise, pretty boring series, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, not like the Eastern Conference Finals.
Now, with Damian Lillard still playing through injuries and everything like that, has he raised his status amongst you in terms of superstars in this league?
He's a little bit better than I thought. I still think he's in like that tier 2. He's not in the tier 1. But he's been good.
I think he gets the most out of his ability, and that says something.
Yeah, he does.
Like, if I don't know if I can't name really probably 2 other players I'd rather have taken the last shot of the game.
He's awesome, but the buzzer beaters.
He's had a couple now.
Yeah, those buzzer beaters.
Walk-offs.
Yeah, exactly. Walk-offs, they're unheard of.
But yeah, overall, Trailblazers, I'm excited to see what they do this offseason. I think that's when you're going to see them reshuffle in an interesting way.
Yeah.
At least retool. Then we have Milwaukee, who last night actually took the L to the Raptors. Kawhi double overtime, fighting.
Yep. And they needed every break to get that win.
Everything. Fouling out.
Yeah, fouling out. They got so lucky. Giannis fouled out in the second overtime. Milwaukee came back down 7 with like a minute left, and it was crazy game.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the most interesting component to this has been Kawhi's usage, just because it's such a dramatic increase. He's playing like vintage Kobe right now in terms of how much he's shooting the ball, how he's kind of just controlling the entire offense. Everything's being run through him.
Yes.
He knows it. People wanted to call Damian Lillard's performance a one-man show. Listen, Kyle Lowry's a solid player, but we've seen how often he disappears in the playoffs.
I think Lowry's very inconsistent. Yeah. I think he can be questioned, especially in terms of crunch time. He fouled out in the fourth quarter. Yeah, I'm not a huge Kyle Lowry guy. Never really was.
It's hard because when he's been asked to show up the most, he's had 0-point playoff games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, you can't justify that in any way. But personally, I think this series is done in 5.
Yeah, I think so too.
The Raptors, everything you saw from them in that win last night was everything they had left. And it's enough to make Kawhi, they're not going to go out on the most disrespectful note of just getting swept. But I feel like the way this series, how one-sided it's been, it's going to really impact Kawhi's decision.
I think so too.
But overall, Giannis, he didn't have a great game. 12 points, 8 turnovers.
Yeah, he was bad. This is probably his worst game of the playoffs. Offensively, he was poor. Defensively, he was fine, but offense, he wasn't making his free throws. He was, I think, below 50% shooting free throws in yesterday's game. He's got to play better, and I think he will going forward because there's no way Toronto will be able to hold him to 12 points.
Giannis, overall, in all reality, he's had kind of 2 clunkers in this postseason. It was game 1 against the Celtics.
Yep, and now game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Does that influence the kind of way you see him as a superstar?
No, he's still a superstar, top 3 player in the world. But I mean, everyone has these bad games every once in a while. LeBron's has them. Durant has them. Curry has them. Just things weren't falling his way on the road, tough setting.
What sticks out to me about Giannis is every time he has one of these awful performances, he comes back the next game with something new.
Yeah, he's going to drop 40 and
exactly.
40, 10, and 8 for game 4, and Milwaukee's going to win this game by 10-plus points.
100% agree. But if we're kind of projecting here, so Golden State Bucks to the finals.
Yeah, I still take Golden State. I think Golden State would probably win that in 6.
What happens if KD doesn't play? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still going Golden State in 6.
If KD doesn't play, I'm going to say Golden State in 7.
You think so?
But there's a part of me that really wants to lean.
Milwaukee's deep. They have so many guys. Chris Middleton.
Their bench. People are giving the Warriors credit. Their bench. Milwaukee's been great all year.
They've been great all year. Budenholzer's been a great job coaching that team. Playing the matchups really well. Defensively, they're one of the best in the playoffs. But I still think when you're dealing with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, it's a different animal.
I'm very curious about size-wise how they'd match up, and having issues with a guy like Giannis.
There's a difference between the NBA Finals and the Eastern Conference playoffs. The NBA Finals is a totally different animal.
More physicality.
A lot more calls are not called. And in terms of camera, everything else, everything's all on you. Center of attention, it's totally different.
I really hope. And
Milwaukee's young.
Yeah, nothing against Kevin Durant. Obviously I'm a fan of him as a player, but I hope he doesn't play in the finals.
I don't know if
how bad do you think this injury is?
Bet, I told you I think it was bad for the beginning.
I agree. I'm there with you.
I don't think he's going to be close.
Yeah, I think KD, they're going to keep him there. It's going to be a conversation over and over. I think if something like crazy happens, like, say somehow Milwaukee get the 3-2 lead in the finals, I think maybe then you could see something with KD where they force it.
I think he's going to play. I think he's going to force himself to play.
Now,
because
I think if he furthers the injury wall for his free agent stuff,
but I think
he has to.
I think he has to because he doesn't want to go into this free agency period where he hasn't played the Eastern Conference Finals and the NBA Finals. And then I think it'd be a bitter feeling because when his team wins, he's kind of there, but he's kind of not. And a lot of teams are going to question whether the injury was more severe than diagnosed.
You saw the video that was posted to him high-fiving his teammates.
In the tunnel.
That was so uncomfortable to me. I felt awkward watching that because you saw, no matter what, this emotion out of Golden State, this free ability amongst everyone has not been seen.
He hasn't even been able to wear basketball shoes yet.
Yeah.
So DeMarcus Cousins is closer to return than he is, which is kind of scary.
I think DeMarcus Cousins would be a pretty significant help against a team like Milwaukee, too, when physicality comes in.
You're dealing with
nothing competes with KD.
You're dealing with bigs like Brook Lopez, Nikola Mirotic.
DeMarcus Cousins and Brook Lopez. DeMarcus Cousins will teach him a couple lessons. But, yeah, I don't know. At this point, nothing really interesting, I feel, is going to be happening to the finals.
No, I don't think so either. But, I mean, it's different. LeBron's not there. You got a new team out of the East, which is kind of cool. So
it's at least refreshing. But then we had the NBA lottery.
Yes.
Really turned the world. The
porking of the ping pong balls, yes.
Do we have an audio clip? Did we end up pulling one? Yes, we do. For the lottery? Go for it, bro.
Hit it.
The third pick goes to the New York Knicks. The second pick will be made by the Memphis Grizzlies, and that means that the number one pick in the 2019 NBA draft goes to the New Orleans Pelicans.
Sorry, SpongeBob, you lose. Nate, tough L, man.
I have to say, so I was at Buffalo Wild Wings for this, and Nate texts me, he goes, "Hey, I'm going to FaceTime you. I hope you're not doing anything." So I said, that's fine with me. So I get my screen record ready because I had a feeling the Knicks were going to get screwed.
Yeah.
So I had it all ready, had it all throughout. Unfortunately, there's no volume, so I know there's no volume on screen record, but whatever. So I had him propped up, and I could see him, and he's sitting there. So the picks keep going, and the Knicks are still there, going in the top 4, and Nate's like, "Feeling good, big kid, feeling good." And I'm like, "All right, Nate." I was like, "Nate, you're gonna get the third pick."
Yep.
And he's like, "No, we're gonna get the first." He's like, "If we don't get the first, it's rigged."
What was it? A 14% chance.
14%. So which means if you know math, Tyler, 86% chance they would not get first.
And this whole time, this whole media cycle, all season, everyone was saying Zion to the Knicks like it was an 86% chance and a 14% chance
Zion
they didn't.
to the Knicks.
It was the opposite.
So this lottery is the most entertaining lottery of all. The Lakers got into the top 4. The Knicks end up in the 3rd spot. The Grizzlies 2nd, and the Pelicans 1st. The Pelicans
Lakers 4th.
Lakers 4th, yes. Yeah. So they made out pretty well. The Grizzlies and Pelicans made out really, really well because everyone says it's about a 3-player draft. So the Knicks are going to end up with R.J. Barrett. It's a nice consolation prize for tanking.
Ultimately, it'll likely be the reason, in my opinion, I think they get Anthony Davis.
It could be, yeah. You end up with Davis or you're going to get R.J. Barrett. So.
But in my opinion, I think Zion going to the Pelicans is great for the NBA.
Me too. I think it's great for him, and I think it's great for the NBA. They're losing a superstar in Davis. He's going to fill that void. New Orleans is a good sports town. I mean, the Saints do really well down there.
They have the smallest media market currently for the NBA, but there has been a lot of conversation and a lot of upset owners amongst the small market teams saying, the way revenue is being dealt, they have no chance. This is fair. This is unfair. This is a league that's kind of pushing them away. Here you go. You got a superstar in Zion or a projecting superstar. It seems like you're going to lose Anthony Davis, even though Griffin believes he's going to try to get him to come back. It's just, it gives the Pelicans another chance here.
Yeah, I think he has to say that so he gets some leverage in trade talks.
And it shows ultimately for the NBA that small market teams are still worth something. It's not just about the Lakers or the Knicks.
So this is great for the NBA. I was really hoping the Lakers or the Knicks weren't going to get it because I really like to see a team like New Orleans really bank in here.
Who wants to see the same teams? The same people that complain about Golden State running things the past couple of years, them and the Cavs. This is what you want. You want something different.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
So why are you complaining? Because you don't get the storyline you wanted? Get over it.
Coward's pissed.
I think the only one who's really going to take an L here, I think Zion's going to take a slight L.
You think so?
Shoe-wise.
Shoe-wise?
Shoe deal.
maybe.
I think
If he's so good,
is 60 million compared to 100 million a big
exactly.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
It's fine.
Like it's money, but he's going to be filthy rich no matter what. He's not losing anything.
No, he's not.
significant.
The only thing he's losing per se is I think he obviously would be crazy in New York or Los Angeles,
Be
but
ridiculous.
he's going to be fine in New Orleans. I told you the Saints do well there. They can generate superstars. Drew Brees is a superstar.
You also got to look. They've completely. This isn't the same Pelicans franchise that had the Saints front office people making their decisions for them.
They have the same owner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, now the wife has
Now the
taken
wife
over,
is,
and it's a
yes.
completely different approach. That's why you see Griffin got hired. He's moved in. He's bringing in a lot of people he likes. This is not going to be the same franchise that
Wearing
once
two
was.
different hats.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Coming to work. We doing Saints or Pelicans today.
Like, that's awful. That's meant for dysfunction in the NBA. So with this new approach, I think it's bound. There's a lot of pieces still there. Drew Holiday, he's no scrub.
No, he's not.
Randall's likely going to be gone. We understand that. But if there's a move made, they get R.J. Barrett. I love that storyline.
Yep.
The NBA is about storylines.
2 Duke roommates.
I sound like Colin Coward. We have some words about him later today, too.
2 roommates.
Yeah.
Is Zion and
Best
RJ.
friends.
Would be cool. Even if New Orleans doesn't end up getting RJ, they still have good pieces here. Like you already mentioned, Drew Holiday and Zion. It's going to be an interesting fit.
Can I be honest?
What's up?
I've fallen in love with the idea of like Tatum and Jaylen Brown joining them, and that just a young core over there.
Now it's because Zion's a guy that's NBA ready. Do the Pelicans value draft picks or they value talent?
And
So
that's
I don't
the
know.
kind of equation.
If you look at David Griffin's history in past, he prefers talent over draft picks. So I guess we'll see.
We see the
Which
NBA
bodes well for the Celtics, not well for the Knicks and the Lakers.
Exactly. And a lot of people want to go ahead and put the Knicks as the front runner solely because of the 3rd overall pick. Everyone was saying, well, the educated fans, it's not a complete disaster. We got the 3rd overall pick. But the truth is you don't have the young talent. You likely need a
here's
third
the thing.
team.
If Durant ends up staying in Golden State or ends up in Miami or wherever else, and Kyrie's like, no, I'm going to stay or I'm going to go to Brooklyn, then are they still going to make the move for Anthony Davis? Might as well just build with RJ at that point.
Yeah. You bring Anthony Davis, then you're kind of projecting long term. And, Anthony
Not
Davis
to mention he can bowl in a year.
Yeah, but he said he would sign a long-term deal in New York,
Yeah.
so maybe he would have the patience. But you look at the Knicks, you got Knox, Mitchell Robinson, and Dennis Smith Jr.
Frank Ntilikina.
Yeah, those pieces, they're solid. They don't compete with anything the Celtics could offer in terms of talent. And it will just come down to what Griffin kind of sees more. Does he want the immediate success or does he kind of want to wait?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I think he's going to be wanting the more immediate success.
I think so too. So I think the Celtics bode well in that camp. But I mean, if he likes a guy like Knox or Mitch Robinson, then it's different. Or he likes a guy like Brandon Ingram or Kyle Kuzma, then it's different. It's all about who he's falling in love with, who he likes as a GM.
Do you believe the Lakers talk is just leverage to make sure, there's another name out there, or do you believe the rumors that they aren't interested in dealing with them?
I think the owner would probably prefer to not deal with him. I mean, I don't
Their
think
package would have to dominate anybody
exactly.
else's.
If it's 50-50, I think he would rather send Davis to the East anyway.
Agreed.
But
it's a way smarter move.
Yeah.
You have a player like Anthony Davis, where he goes next, it's going to be a different level.
Yeah.
People don't realize that once he's in a bigger media market.
So you send it to New York or Boston or whoever else.
So speaking of RJ Barrett, let's NBA draft. It's a top-heavy draft. We all know the top 3 picks are all people
draft,
really
yep.
care about. We've already talked about Zion. Morant, what do you see him as? If you were going to give him a comp, what do you think he'll kind of develop into? Because it looks like at the moment he's a lock for the 2.
So with John Morant here, I think his ceiling is Russell Westbrook.
I agree.
I think, unfortunately, his floor could be if just a spark guy off the bench. But I like John Morant a lot. I think he will be the 2nd pick, and I think he's going to be the 2nd best player in the draft.
He's like a Russell Westbrook, John Wall hybrid to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the explosiveness of Russell Westbrook, but he kind of dishes the ability to drive and kind of dish the ball out.
He's going to
very John Wall-esque.
He's going to be very well in Memphis here.
The only thing that does worry me is he has John Wall's attitude and Russell Westbrook's attitude.
Yeah.
He's a point guard.
He's a point. Yeah, that's what he claims himself.
How
Yes.
do you feel about that?
I mean, that's probably not great. But we'll see here. In Memphis here, they have Mike Conley. I think they're going to deal him. So there's really no alphas on that team, so I think it's fine.
There's not many personalities that it seems to fit or be on brand and not come off corny. When he said it didn't come off corny
I don't
to
think
me.
he could do it in New York. I don't.
I agree. I think he's going to be one of those guys a small market team falls in love with.
It's going to be like Damian Lillard in Portland.
Exactly. He'll have some great moments. Will he ever be the dude to lead them? I don't know.
Probably not. Well, I mean, surround him with stars, and I guess we'll see.
Yeah, but will he be the number one? In my opinion, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. Then RJ Barrett. Yes. I am in love with RJ Barrett. I think
like,
he's a more polished
you think
James
he's
Harden.
I was going to say, his comp is James Harden right now. I'm not sure if he's that. I like John Morant better than him right now. I got to do a little bit more research. But with that being said, I think Barrett is a considerable option for the Knicks at 3 if they'd rather keep him than Davis.
I love Barrett's background. It's very Kobe-esque in terms of, where he's traveled throughout his life.
There was people last year saying he was going to be the first pick of the draft.
It was kind of
early.
It was leaning more heavy Barrett by far than anyone else.
And then Job came out of nowhere and he kind of took over that second spot.
I think for RJ, what continues to stand out to me is he has no fear of anything. He took all the big shots for Duke this year. Zion gave the ball to him.
He did.
Did he shoot well from the 3? Nope.
No.
He did not. I think he shot 31%.
He had a disappointing year.
Yeah. But I still think for Barrett, it is not an easy pill to swallow playing with someone like Zion when you get overshadowed like you did.
Yeah.
When you were once, the top pick everyone loved, and then this guy, comes in and he dominates you in a way that, in terms of just, celebrity status.
So that's another
talking.
thing. Does he want to end up being Zion's sidekick again in New Orleans? I don't know.
That I have a feeling he doesn't.
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does.
But they were roommates, so they seem to be very close. That's what the relationship says. I think for RJ, if you can get him and Zion together, it becomes a different dynamic because he'll carry his own brand, his own name.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think
he'd be great with the Knicks too.
Yeah.
So.
And for the Pelicans, it would be about a young core. With Duke this year, it was just about Zion.
I agree.
That's all.
It was all about Zion getting to the NBA healthy.
All right, so let's take a little break here. When we come back, we'll talk the Celtics landing the 14th pick, what that means, and then we have some MLB and NFL talk, so you're not going to want to go anywhere.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.
All right, Pombo and Milliken, we're back. Just checking some final grade stuff out.
We did good. We did good.
Successful.
Yes.
But so along with all the other storylines that were dominating news sites everywhere about Zion, RJ, and the top 3, the picks and everything, the Celtics themselves landed the 14th overall.
Yes.
pick.
Yes.
Jason, you want to go into the Sacramento?
It wasn't the worst scenario because if the pick ended up being number 1, they don't get it. So not the worst. And the Grizzlies pick got extended to next year, which is good because it was top 8 protected.
Yeah.
So that's going to be next year's pick, which is good. And 14, it's the worst possible outcome, but
it's another pick.
It's another pick, yeah.
Right? And it can be packaged.
You got to find the next Donovan Mitchell.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And for, we talked Griffin. We believe he probably wants talent more.
Yeah.
But, if you're interested in picks, stockpile.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
Could have been worse.
All right. Some baseball talk.
Let's do it.
Oh, Red Sox, Astros.
Good. They're actually playing right now.
Yeah.
Sox are up 1-0.
Very interesting series.
Oh, they're playing the Blue Jays right now.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, I wasn't gonna.
My fault.
David Price is pitching today.
Yes, it's actually 2-0, not 1-0.
Red Sox.
Yes.
Oh, that's my boy David.
Yes.
But no, Red Sox. Astros ended up taking 2 out of 3 in the series. Overall, Red Sox didn't look awful, a little sloppy at times, but the biggest issue, in my opinion, Ryan Brazier.
Yeah, he's been bad. That
sucks.
bullpen needs another arm, and they need guys they can rely upon. And right now, it feels like
He's
3 tops between Barnes,
Workman,
and Walden.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Brazier is throwing fastballs down the middle of the plate. Legitimately, everything is over the plate. He should have another blown save, or no, it should have been a loss.
Yes.
Jackie Bradley Jr. saved him.
Yes.
And he got away with that, and you saw he took a huge breather. He realized he got lucky. Then he comes back, and it's still a mess. He's causing the Red Sox to lose late in games. And at this point, he's lost his spot, at least in the late inning role he had.
Yes.
That now belongs to Marcus Walden.
Marcus Walden, who got out of a huge jam yesterday, helped Chris Sale in the 6th inning. It was
2
bases
double
loaded,
plays.
1 out. Yep, and he got that double play.
Yep.
Same thing happened the next inning. He's been awesome.
Yeah, and I believe Chris Sale came out today with a quote saying his stuff is just nasty.
Yeah.
And Walden, I believe, okay, this is off the top of my head, but he had a slider. He scrapped it for about 10 years. And now it's come back into effect in this whatever.
If that's true, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's picked it up, with the way baseball continued to change. And it's become by far the pitch that has made him a major league pitcher.
Yeah.
I think Walden, hold him down. He's a perfect 7th inning guy.
Yeah, he could be. But then I think you're still another guy short.
No, I agree.
You need one more guy.
And we'll go a little later into what we think for the trade deadline, but there's just not a lot of relievers out there right now for teams to go out and grab. But as someone who picked the Astros to make the World Series and win
I did.
Correct?
Yes.
What did the series tell you about these two teams?
I still think the Astros are really good, man.
I do. That lineup is ridiculous.
George Springer, Carlos Correa.
Injured. George,
yes.
He swung and it looked like something blew out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Altuve wasn't in the series either, but I think that team has a lot of pieces here in terms of arms. They have young arms. Who's their closer now? Oh, he's been awesome. I can't remember his name. Who's the Astros closer?
Is it what's his name? It's not Giles anymore.
No, it's not.
No. What are you thinking of?
I forgot. Hang on.
Let's pull it up real quick. Astros depth chart. You got it, Pombo?
Getting there.
But overall, no. AJ Hinch is doing an amazing job managing that team.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
No,
I was
yeah,
agreeing
you're
with you,
agreeing. Okay. A lot of people were kind of saying, comparing after Cora left. It looks like they had a little bit of a transition year while they were trying to figure a lot of different things out. But are you thinking of Suna?
Yes, that's who it was. I just pulled it up. Yep. He's been awesome.
Because he got dealt last year over there. That was the Giles trade.
Yes.
But yeah. Overall, Osuna stepped in. He had the domestic abuse situation. That's why his stock had dropped so much at the time. Had a really rough postseason last year. And a lot of people kind of took them off.
He's been good this year.
Yeah, no, he's found his way. He was dominant with the Blue Jays for a while. I just think with the Astros, they're so deep. They are so deep all over. And the only place the Red Sox really can't compete is on the offensive side right now.
And
the bullpen.
Yeah.
I
young
think
kid
it's
they have,
both.
Corbin Martin, he's awesome.
Yeah.
He's going to be very good.
I think right now with the Astros, the Red Sox lineup has taken a step back. It's obvious, Mookie is not exactly where he was a year ago. He's still very good, but I believe he's in under 300, 298. Yeah. Christian Vasquez has emerged to be quite a solid hitting catcher.
Yes.
We'll see how it keeps going. But I don't know if there's a lineup in baseball that can swing the bat like the Astros.
I don't think anybody, nope.
Especially in their ballpark. They got that short little left field wall.
You got even Reddick going, too.
Yeah, exactly. Josh Reddick's hitting 330.
Yeah, he get 2 home runs in the series. Yep. Michael
Killing
Brantley, who hasn't played as of late.
He had the labrum.
He's sitting close to 300 now, I believe.
With 11 home runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been filthy this year. It's overall, that whole team is great. And that doesn't even include Justin Verlander, who has...
Garrett Cole.
Yeah, all those different guys. And they lost Charlie Moore, and they haven't taken a step. They had Wade Miley start. And Wade Miley looks solid, you know what I mean? The fact that they can get by, and they're probably still going to acquire another pitcher
I think so too.
down the line. But the Red Sox themselves, they got a lot of issues coming up. This roster's about to shape itself out pretty quickly.
Because there's a lot of decisions that have to be made. A lot of people on the squad can't fit.
No. So David Price and Sandy Leon both returned today.
Yes.
Hernandez, the catcher, and Josh Smith, they were both optioned.
Not a surprise.
No, it made sense. Oscar Hernandez is hitting 111 at AAA. So, I don't think anybody was clinging. And Josh Smith started the other day and got the loss. And it's a pretty ugly performance. But in the next coming days, we got Brock Holt, Dustin Pedroia, and Brian Johnson, who are all coming back.
So that's 3 up, 3 need to go down.
I'd say Holt hit a home run yesterday.
Yes, solo shot.
Yeah, and Johnson, I believe he's pitching again today. He threw 2 innings the other day and looked pretty good. Pedroia played DH.
I think he had a single.
Did you see the single?
Yeah, it was a blooper.
It was a check swing. It wasn't even a hit. Listen, I don't care what he does at the plate. That's not what influences me. How does he feel today?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? That's all that matters. It's becoming a very uncomfortable spot. You saw the Michael Chavis article that came out?
Yeah.
Where he talked about replacing Dustin Pedroia, basically.
Yep, basically. And Chavis was even batting leadoff yesterday.
Yeah, and he stepped up and he hit that bomb for that kid who was announcing his name.
Yes.
But I don't know. I love the way Michael Chavis handled that entire conversation.
He's been great.
Just saying, I'm not here. I'm not looking to replace Dustin Pedroia. That's all you can say. He's in a spot we see. The writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
You can't take him out of the lineup. He's been arguably your best hitter the last 25 games. 3rd on the team in home runs with 8. He's hitting 290.
Not to mention, he hasn't been even with the team the whole year.
No, he's 25. He came up, April 11th, something
Whatever
like
it was,
that.
Yeah, 2 weeks after.
He's playing a solid second base. Nothing groundbreaking, but he's definitely not a negative out there. What more could you ask for? And if I'm being honest, he already feels like a leader, someone who will emerge as a leader.
He's been awesome. I mean, everywhere you put him, he's been great. He's swinging the bat so well. He's been clutch at that walk-off.
The guys all gravitate towards him. You saw in that, who was the first dude to go up and run up and hug?
It was Betts, wasn't it?
Yep, right in his arms. Reminded me a lot of Blake, but it's okay.
Reminded me a lot of Blake.
That says something. When guys like Mookie Betts, all of them are jumping on him, come on, man. This guy, he's the rallying call for this team. And no offense to Dustin Pedroia, but that used to be him. It's very reminiscent of 2007 in that way.
You think so?
Where it was the second baseman who came up, Dustin Pedroia was when he came in 2007. He played a little in 06, but, still rookie year.
Yep.
And he just, every moment where it felt like something needed to happen, he was in the middle of it.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like with Chavis. Anytime they're down a couple runs, they need a big hit, get them back in the game. Who is it that does something?
Him.
And I think for right now, as much as I do hope for Dustin Pedroia things go well, and there's this whole this whole campaign going on that everyone who doesn't want Dustin Pedroia back hates him.
Yeah.
That's not it. That's the farthest thing from it. I just don't understand why people feel the need to push that narrative.
So
they're making people seem ungrateful.
If and when Pedroia comes back, who do you see getting moved in terms of either getting DFA'd or IL'd?
It would probably be Eduardo Nunez. A lot of people have been talking, saying they might stash him with a middle prospect and try to get in a bullpen arm right now.
I'd be for it.
Yeah, something that can help the team at least a little bit. The Red Sox are very weird with assets, but we saw the way. I hate to beat a dead horse here, but Blake Swihart, they're willing to throw pieces away.
You said they throw away Nunez. Nunez is already thrown away.
Listen, I wouldn't go that far. He's in below 200 pretty significantly. But if you were going to trade Sean Anderson for him, Dave Dombrowski, this is.
I think Nunez on this team, they don't really need him at this point.
He doesn't help. He can't hit or he can't defend.
That's what I'm saying. You don't need him.
And the only thing he really brings is speed, but at this point in the season, it's not necessary. He's not blowing the wheels off of anything.
Correct.
So if I'm the Red Sox, it's just you're taking money. It's going to be a hit,
I think at that point, it's worth it if you require a good piece out of the bullpen because I think you need one.
I think it's just frustrating because the Red Sox know probably the way this is going to go is Pedroia is going to be back on the DL in 2 weeks, and you would have said goodbye to a piece.
Yeah, but then if your guy Marco Hernandez is there, then I guess.
Up to AAA.
There you go.
Swinging the bat pretty well.
There you go.
Do I think he's ready? No. I think it's still a couple months.
I mean, if he's getting up there and getting close.
Yeah, what scares me with him is defense is still coming back to him, all the motions and stuff like that. He's hitting. He's kept hitting. He was great down in High A Salem for the, 20 or so games he was down there. That's putting a lot on a guy who hasn't played baseball in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, so with those three names, what would you do? What do you think is the right course of action?
Oof.
You have Steve Pearce and Brazier who are struggling.
So Pearce, in my opinion, is hurt.
Some people say you should DFA Pearce.
I don't think you can do that.
I don't either.
I don't
World
think they
Series
will.
hero
No,
like that.
I think if it wasn't for that, he probably would have. But
Agreed.
You can't do that. Brazier, you got to do something with him.
I think you DL him.
Yeah.
Core was saying his velocity's still there. It's a mechanical. It's just a phantom DL.
Yeah.
10 days. Give him a breather. Let him figure out what's going on. You have enough bullpen depth right now. He's not being used at the top of the bullpen. So say you went ahead, right? You DL Brazier and Pearce because Pearce he finally got a hit yesterday, but he's been hurt.
Yes.
That would give you the room to
Ryan
bring
Johnson.
up Johnson and Holt.
Yes.
And then you have Pedroia waiting in the wings, who is
Nunez could be the
DFA, and then you got still two more roster spots to figure out when Brazier and Pearce are back.
I think at that point, I guess you got
to start sending some of these
Thornburg?
relievers. I think you DFA Thornburg.
Colton Brewer, he has two options.
Those would be my two. Those would be the moves I would make. Just Brewer has not been what you hope for. He feels a little redundant right now. He's very similar to the Brandon Workman, Heath Hembry. Heath Hembry's probably a little closer, but solid velocity. Brewer can get a little higher, but he's not as effective. And Thornburg had pitched 4 times in May. May 1st, May 4th, May 10th, May 18th.
He's been so bad.
He's useless.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to be on this team. And I think the way you could slip Thornburg out and bring Pedroia up, if you DA him to bring Dustin Pedroia, what can anyone say to that?
Exactly. Thornburg hasn't worked out here. I think it's an L. I think you just take the L because, unfortunately, for Dombrowski and the Red Sox here, he's never going to be the guy we all thought he was going to be. He never panned out. You gave up Travis Shaw. Travis Shaw ended up being a nice piece.
Travis Shaw's garbage.
He ended up being a better piece than the Red Sox thought, though.
Yeah, he was hitting 240 with 30 jacks. He's injured and he was struggling before he went down this year, but...
I mean, look at the production you got from Thornburg. You got absolutely nothing.
What sits there and continues to hurt me is the Mauricio Dubon part of that deal. Letting him go. I think he's going to be a very good utility infielder. That's
a fair question. That's a fair question. But, I don't know, looking back on that...
It's a loss. It's not a conversation.
Yeah, it's a loss.
Yeah.
It's a loss.
It's just, at the time, I understood them getting rid of Travis Shaw. I think most people felt he had hit his peak. Took it to a different level there.
He did.
I think that's a mistake you can take. You know, it's just... Eventually, you got to learn when something doesn't work.
You swung in the wrong bullpen piece.
That's it. Yeah, it happens, And Dombrowski, throughout his career, is known for that. So I think that's why he's clinging.
Thornburg was known as a good piece. When healthy, he's been awesome, but just hasn't panned out.
People believed he was going to be the de facto 8th inning guy, right behind Kimbrel.
Has not worked.
Yeah, no. But the Red Sox, they're still going ahead. They have the 7th best bullpen ERA at 3.71 in the MLB.
Speaking of Kimbrel, you mentioned, so the Red Sox will not get that compensatory pick.
Not looking like it.
We were talking about it on the show about 2 months ago.
Yeah, I have a little MLB
Yeah.
draft stuff
Okay.
coming later, so I can
All
go
right.
into that. But yeah, not great. But for the Red Sox overall, they're 4.5 games back in the AL East. Are you feeling happy with
I'm
this
feeling
team?
good with it. Yeah, just where they're back in the hunt. They're back in the swing of things. The Yankees are on fire right now.
With nothing.
Beat the brakes out of the Rays here.
All their injuries are not looking great. Stanton
Stan's
is
still out.
still not looking good.
Andujar is out for the year.
Yeah, but
Severino
I'm
is
going to
out
take my
till at
victory
least
lap
July.
on that one. I'm sorry.
What?
On Annuar. I told you. Labrum
Yeah,
immediately it was
I guess
done.
you're right, yep.
Severino,
He's out till at least July.
and I think he's going to be done for the year as well.
He could be. But
Yeah.
they're still, look at him. They're in first place now.
Gleyber Torres is playing out of his mind. Urshela, oh my God. He got hit in a very rough spot yesterday. But coming from the Indians, where he was a useless defensive player with almost no bat, he's become arguably the kind of
How
soul
about Luke
behind
Voigt?
that team.
Look at he's turned into.
Yeah, he's playing great. The defense is still awful, but
Yep.
he
They
can
got Aaron
swing.
Hicks back.
Yep, who's played well. You know, he had a big home run yesterday. Brett Gardner's playing like it's 2011 out here, continuing to be a very valuable piece. And Gary Sanchez, who's having a monster year behind the plate.
Ooh.
What?
So I got some Twitter beef
Let's hear it.
between Chris Broussard and Kevin Durant.
Oh, what's happening?
Just popped up in my feed. So Broussard said on his radio show, Kevin Durant's worst nightmare is coming true. ... And it's basically he talked about how if the Warriors win a title without Durant, does that diminish his first 2 rings? Durant responds and goes, I see a little exaggeration there, buddy. My worst nightmare? 2 question marks. You sure that there is the worst that can get? 3 question marks.
God.
Interesting.
There's that sensitive side.
Yes.
Listen, Kevin Durant will get some credit because he was the MVP in both of those series.
So I just saw it came right in my feed. I had to say it.
But look at, hey, this is already showing.
Chris Broussard, baby.
This isn't going to be stopping, though. If they keep going this route, people are just going to talk more and more trash.
Yeah, because apparently Broussard said players around the league tell me they put an asterisk by Durant's 2 championships. I'm not surprised by this. And
I don't think that will be the case 20 years from now.
What in the world are they going to think if the Warriors win the championship without him?
That will hurt.
Yes.
That will stand out. But no matter what, those rings, people don't question rings after you retire.
Yes.
You know? But back to the Red Sox. So, trade deadline, talks are already coming up.
When is the deadline now? It's not July 31st anymore. Didn't
They
change
moved it up.
Isn't it like the 15th?
Yeah, it's something like that. So, people are already starting to talk.
Still 2 months out.
What do you want the Red Sox to do?
Got to get another bullpen piece.
You got any names in mind?
Not at the moment yet. I mean, I've seen some articles in terms of if you get another starter, you could potentially throw a reliever in the pen.
People are saying the Red Sox should go get Bumgarner.
Yes, but he's on the no trade list, but I guess that works in their favor.
Yes, that means he wants to go to a place where he can basically work out an
Yeah,
extension.
the Yankees aren't on that list either.
No. I think Will Smith is my guy.
He's your guy?
I mentioned him to you off air, but Giants left-hander has dominated for a couple different years now. People probably remember he was with Milwaukee. There was talk, when Thornburg was acquired himself. Oh, well, look at the other people in the bullpen. This was a whole bullpen within itself that was full of success. Like, these guys are going to succeed wherever they go.
Yeah.
But Smith, after missing a year, Will Smith, came back last year, 2.55 ERA in 54 games, 2.89 ERA this year in 19 games. FIP, both of those, 2.07 FIP last year, 2.35 FIP this year.
So you think they should target a righty or a lefty?
Lefty. I was a big Tony Watson guy before the season, hoping they would go after an arm like that. They need a lefty power arm. Not in term, just a lefty guy who can go out and get those big outs. And Smith, he has a 12.5 K per 9. That's what you're looking for.
What's it going to cost?
It's going to be a piece. It's not going to be a fun piece, but it's a bullpen arm. And I think the services for Will Smith will be high, simply from the fact there's just not a lot out there. But
So if you look at the history of the relievers the Red Sox have acquired throughout the Dombrowski era, the first one was the guy they got from Seattle. His name's escaping me.
Seattle?
Yes. Who did they get from Seattle? Reliever a few years back.
Are you thinking of Brad Zieg? Oh, Carson Smith.
Yes, Carson
there
Smith.
you go.
Smith didn't work out.
I was thinking trade deadline, that's why.
Yeah, Smith hasn't worked out. He's not coming back.
He's still under Red Sox property.
Yeah.
So he destroyed his his shoulder last year when he threw his glove down or whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, I believe he is still under Red Sox.
But he's done, right?
The Red Sox name. I think there's a chance he could still come back. But
You think so?
I think it's an injury thing where right now he's just away from the team. I think if the Red Sox wanted to go and get a name like that, like a Will Smith, it would probably you're probably gonna have to give up a decent piece. Would it be giving up a guy like Anderson Espinoza like they did for Drew Pomerantz? No, you're not going to do that. But it will probably be a name along the lines of a high ceiling guy like
Or
Nick Northcutt.
If the reliever market isn't what it's turning out to be, do you go for a starting pitcher and make your rotation so good in terms of you limit your bullpen use? Do you sign Dallas Keuchel, who's still out there?
I don't think they're going to go that route, and I think acquiring a starter would take too much talent away from an already depleted farm system.
What about Keuchel? He's just a free agent.
I can't picture the Red Sox going out with their tax limits right now and spending that kind of money, you know. I think a reliever has to be the way, and I don't think they're going to make a ton of moves. We've seen in recent years they go and get a utility infielder. Yeah. There's no room for that right now.
They got Steve Pearce last year.
Exactly, yeah. Eduardo Nunez the year before. Yeah. I think Will Smith really is the only guy right now. Low-key name that really interests me, Raciel Iglesias with the Reds. Been very unhappy with his usage. Formerly was a closer, had a lot of success, moved out of the role.
So do you think they're going to wait till July to acquire this? Do you think they're going to do it quickly? Sooner rather
than
later?
This Eduardo Nunez situation could force their hand a little bit earlier, and they might go get a reliever that's off everybody's map.
When did they get Valdi? That was early. Was it June?
Yeah, that sounds right. June, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they went and trade Jalen Beeks, who has been one of the best relievers in all of baseball this year.
That one worked out so far.
Along with Ty Buttrey, another Red Sox prospect who was traded for Ian Kinsler.
End of June, I think it was.
End of June?
Yes.
Yeah. That's another name right there. Ian Kinsler we got last year, utility infielder.
He's with the Angels now, right?
No, he's with the Padres.
Padres.
He had that huge home run the other day, and did you see what he did?
Yeah,
I
did see
I didn't
that.
throw that on the script. I actually wanted to talk about that. Ian Kinsler is the biggest hypocrite in baseball right now. He's a joke. He's
here. Paid pretty handsomely.
He was a waste of assets here. He, if anything, held his team down. Couldn't make a throw to first base.
Paid $6 million.
Yeah,
$6 million, I think.
He's a joke. If many people don't recall, so for people who didn't see the Padres game, and I know there's not many people watching them.
It's like 4 people.
He hit a go-ahead home run in like the 6th or 7th inning, and he turned around and pointed towards the crowd and said, "Blank you," to the crowd. And he said after the game, so keep in mind right now, Ian Kinsler, there's talk about him being bench and release. No one wants him. He's hitting under 200.
He sucks.
How
old is he at this point? He's got to be close to
36,
right?
37, somewhere in that area. Washed up second baseman.
Got a ring?
Yes.
Everyone thought he was going to hang it up.
He should have, because
he will be 37 in
What he hit last year with the Red Sox, and what is he hitting this year?
So this year he's hitting
188. Yep. What did he hit last year with the Red Sox?
Last year with the Red Sox, he hit. You want to take a guess?
204.
Ooh, no.
High?
242.
Wow, he hit that high. What about the postseason?
Oof. Hang on.
You on Baseball Reference?
Yep.
Scroll down a little bit.
I know. We're getting there. Okay, what do you think he did?
The postseason, it couldn't have been above 240.
No.
It had way lower, right?
It was
136.
So in the ALDS, he had, it's not going to give me the total. ALDS, he had 308. ALCS, he had $182.
There it is.
In the World Series, he had 100.
Yeah, there it is.
So that averages out to probably like 250 something.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not giving him credit for the ALDS. That was a wash series.
He had how many at bats? He played 4 games in the DS, 4 in the CS, and 3 in the World Series.
Yeah, he became useless down the line. That's what I was saying. Was not a very good asset when he got here. He actually had a moment in the postseason where he hurt them really badly.
Up, yeah.
I'm not an Ian Kinsler guy. And if people look back when he played in the World Baseball Classic a couple years ago, he actually complained about players from different countries about how they celebrated and did different stuff like that.
Oh, did he?
When he flipped the bat, heavy bat flip.
He's a big bat flip guy.
Yeah. No, he's not.
Oh,
he's
always
been a very
he's anti.
Mr. Play baseball the right way.
Yes.
Goes, he does all the celebration stuff, and then after the game, just acts like nothing happened. You're a hypocrite.
Do you remember when he got dealt for, was it Prince Fielder, wasn't it? Way back when? Because he got dealt to Detroit.
Yeah, I believe that was it. Yeah. Wow, that's a long time ago.
It was a straight up deal, I think.
Was it? They both had.
It was.
It's been a while. That's a long time ago now. But Ian Kinsler, I used to love to watch him play in Texas. But what he's become now, he's kind of just a jerk. He's a clown.
Yeah, 4 years. All right, so this was 2013.
Mm-hmm.
Tigers traded Prince Fielder for Ian Kinsler. The Tigers sent $30 million
straight up.
Rangers.
Yeah, because both of their deals were ridiculous. But yeah, Ian Kinsler, not a fan, man. Stay away.
I remember that like it was yesterday. That was crazy.
But so with the deadline, maybe if they don't go out and acquire a name. In terms of minor league, there's been some talk about Darwinzon Hernandez coming up for the stretch How do you feel about that?
Good. I like the kid.
Yeah,
Good.
I think he'd be a lot of fun out of the bullpen. That's an impact arm no matter what. He may not be starting games, but he can fill a couple different roles, multiple innings. Why not? There's also been talk about my boy, Jared Duran.
Yes.
You've seen him making some headlines,
yes,
huh?
Yes.
He might actually be considered for a pinch runner spot in the postseason in September. This kid is ridiculously fast. It was weird. It felt like after we talked about it on the show, the next 3 days, he had a double that was faster than the second best player last year in terms of home to second base. He only trailed, I think, Billy Hamilton.
Wow.
We're talking.
I know you think he
speed.
He's
He's special.
pretty flippin' fast.
He had a home run the other day, so the other tools are starting to come along. He's hitting 400.
So how would they use him? Just for speed, you think?
Yeah, it would be like the Quentin Berry.
Quentin Berry?
Yeah.
Dave Roberts.
Exactly. Just
Quentin
come
Berry.
in, run.
Steal a base.
He's just not that great of a base runner, so I'm not sure if that's the route to go.
Oh,
but that's
takes
what I'm saying.
half his value.
But people are saying, he's that fast.
Run straight.
Yeah, just don't get picked off.
Yeah.
Don't pull a Devers.
Yes.
Poor man yesterday again. I felt bad for him.
I don't think Devers is a great base runner either.
No. But, look at him. He's
Shavis
at 306 now.
That's what Shavis, he needs to improve on that.
He
needs to know that wall.
He got gunned at second base.
9 out of 10 times, that's an out.
Okay, so we mentioned Madison Bumgarner earlier. What do you
Yes.
think his best fit is at the trade deadline?
I think him with the Yankees would be interesting.
Do you?
Really interesting.
My pick is the Cardinals.
Cardinals, that's another interesting
Cardinals
spot.
right now, their rotation is garbage. The whole lineup carrying them. They don't have a lefty in the rotation.
I thought Keuchel was going to end up there, but
people talked.
Yeah.
At this point, I really don't have much of a feel. I feel like the Mets could panic. They're kind of in this.
The Mets are going to panic and they do something stupid. I don't know.
They
what
have
it's
to.
gonna be.
Something needs to happen at this point, and I think
whether it's you said Chili Davis, whether it's Callaway, whether it's someone gets dealt.
We have a
it's-
question about that later, and I'm
Yes.
planning to go in.
All
But right now with the Mets, or
So they're
not with the
20 and
Mets.
25, right? Oh, you're talking about the Cardinals.
Yeah, with the Cardinals right now. No lefties in their rotation. You got to think the three teams they probably have to worry the most about: the Cubs, the Phillies, and the Dodgers.
Correct.
We're talking Aaron Nola,
Yep.
John Lester,
Yep.
and what was the other team I mentioned?
You said the Dodgers?
The Dodgers. Clayton
Yeah.
Kershaw, Walker Buehler, however
Yes.
you want to frame it. Those are three, technically four, I just named aces you're going to have to go up against.
Yes.
If you have your rotation right now, Mr. Washed Up Adam Wainwright.
Yes.
Who
Who I think was the game one start on the 2013
Yeah.
World Series.
Their entire rotation, I believe almost everyone has an ERA above 4.
Yeah,
they need an arm bad. And for the talent they've gone out, Paul Goldschmidt's been a stud over there.
Yep.
That whole team, the lineup's so talented. They need a pitcher, and I think Madison Bumgarner fits them so well. Can't you imagine him in Cardinals red?
Could be, yeah.
Just his personality. He's so country and
So right now, St. Louis, they're in fourth. They're 24 and 23, but they're right there. They're 4.5 out. They're going to be fighting for that wild card spot with Milwaukee, with Pittsburgh, with Atlanta.
Exactly.
With that whole crew.
I think for the Yankees, I think they're going to have to go and get an arm too. I think they're still a candidate for Dallas Keuchel.
Think so?
I think he's someone who could fit right into that. With the way the Yankees are getting Bumgarner, it sounds like he wants to end up somewhere for a while, and I think the Cardinals would be interesting in working on a deal like that. I don't know if the Yankees would.
So it blows my mind that they're in first place here.
It's
Blows my
ridiculous.
mind.
They're doing things despite their entire team falling apart. Bryce Harper has home runs in his last 2 games, still hitting .239.
Yeah, the average is not.
It's been a rough year.
Similar to last year.
Yeah, very similar, just about the same path. What do you think about him?
I'm
You
still a
starting to
Harper
get
guy.
nervous?
No, not yet. It's his first year. There's a lot of change of scenery can obviously impact that.
People saying it's pressure, I think, is so stupid. It's not that.
Granted, he's still in the same division. He's still facing the same teams. It's just been different. They're in first place. So however you want to spring it, they're in first place here.
He's made a couple plays out in right field. You saw those. He had 2 diving catches in right field.
He's had a rough year yet, but we're only in May here. They don't crown anything in May.
No. And I think for Bryce Harper, I was listening to Buster Olney's podcast. Shout out Buster Olney.
Of course you are.
My boy. But Bryce Harper, his big issue this year has been fastballs. He can't catch up. I can't tell you. I know yesterday's pitch, the home run was not on a fastball. I can't recall the day before that. But he had, I believe, 2 or 3 hits on fastballs this year,
really?
Above 95 miles per hour.
Wow.
Really struggling. If you watch his at-bats, he's actually taking his batting gloves off for an at-bat, putting them back on. He's going through the whole try whatever and hope you get a hit. Nate, you can wait. Listen to the show. But I don't know. I'm not panicking about Bryce. I think the Phillies are the real deal. I think people.
I think so too. I think they're the favorite to come out of the NL right now.
Yeah.
Well, outside of the Cubs, them and the Cubs seem like
Cubs
1A,
are
1B.
on fire.
Cubs
man.
are on fire. Yeah.
Red Sox Cubs World Series.
I thought that was going to be the last year, the year
right?
before. Even when Farrah was the manager in their last year, when Houston took him out.
In 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other news story that's going around: Derek Jeter failing the Marlins. Things are getting really bad there.
I mean, not that anything has gotten better. I mean,
Their farm system has. It's 13th in the MLB now.
oh, so they're moving up quite a bit.
But apparently, their vice president, a lot of the stuff going on.
13 and 31.
Ken Rosenthal actually wrote a huge article on it on The Athletic.
About what? What was it?
About the vice president over there. His name's escaping me. I'll pull it up right now. But basically, the vice president working under Derek Jeter, who is the CEO, he calls like employees fat. Like
really?
He's mean.
God, he's
like
he's a
he
jerk.
calls like the scouts were all there and he was like, y'all need to hit the gym. Like like he's a jerk. Like there is okay. So keep in mind this guy.
Damn.
I'm pulling up his name right now. He's been in baseball for a long time. He was Derek Jeter's original minor league manager. Oh, why am I seeing Mickey Callaway on the front of my page? But no, so the name here, I'll pull it up right now, make life a little bit easier. Perfect. Okay, so with the Marlins right now, last name is Denbo, Gary Denbo. He's the Marlins vice president of player development and scouting. He had met Jeter originally when he was coming up through the minors with the Yankees. He served as his hitting coach at one point on the major league team, was kicked off the team after he didn't really connect with veterans. Went to Japan.
So how'd he end up back here?
Just over time. He went back with the Yankees after all those years and helped make their farm system what it was today. So that's how he got the job with the Marlins. So the farm system that has given the Yankees this new rebirth is mostly thanks to him. Now, in recent months, last year-ish, I guess.
He starts calling people fat? Is that
not
like a new
only
thing?
that. So he goes over, there will be scouting teams, right?
Yeah.
There's a 5'1" shortstop
Yeah.
that the scouting team said, no, we don't want to take him. Why would we draft?
Like too short, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to draft him. The kid didn't get drafted. He's 5'1".
That's short.
The Yankees
short,
signed
man.
him. He went over the scouting department, didn't care, and made the move himself because he's known amongst the league. Failed. There was a talk. He signed a kid out of a community college. So the kid was sitting warming up, like first couple weeks of spring training.
Are you telling me he's going to sign you next?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dylan, keep working. So listen,
No, Dylan's focused on the XFL.
This kid out of community college, he can't believe he's with the Yankees, right? Or the Marlins. He's warming up, running sprints. He calls the kid over. He goes, do you know who I am? The kid didn't know who he was. Like, come on. He just got drafted. Give him a break. He goes, he basically called him fat. He roasted his body because he was a little heavy. The kid was released 3 weeks later. He didn't even make it out of spring training, and he got, like, what are you doing,
This
man?
guy's bullying.
He's bullying players.
That's awesome.
They've had, I believe the number was about 70 employees from the Marlins have left since Derek Jeter took over.
Really?
35 have left because they were fired. The other 35 left because they're getting bullied and they don't like this dude. You want to hear the worst story about this? Now, this is actually sad.
Oh.
Okay.
You should have said this before the 5'1" guy.
The Greensboro Grasshoppers,
All right,
minor league
double A,
team.
triple A?
Lower. I'm pretty
Single
sure
A?
it's like rookie ball or single A probably. They have dogs, like dog bat boys, you know, like that.
Oh, yep.
Like go up and get the bat. He showed up to the minor league ballpark and saw the cages and told them to get him out.
Oh.
And he fired the dogs who had been there for like.
What do you mean you fired the
He
dogs?
told them to leave. There were no. He wouldn't let them be the bat boy.
Shoo.
Trophy, hop on air.
Are you kidding?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Right? What is this?
Who does that?
I know. The dogs were like a huge thing. The dogs are such a phenomenon that the bucket of the late Miss Babe Ruth, you know, the lab retriever who worked 638 consecutive home games, it's on display there, in the Baseball Hall of Fame. And he kicked the dogs out because like
it's horrible.
Their cages or their kennels were in the clubhouse. That's like they lived. And he said, "Get the dogs out." What is this?
Is he allergic? Like,
No,
what's
he
his
just
issue?
didn't. He thinks it's unprofessional.
Ah.
This is why people hate baseball.
Single A ball.
This is what I'm saying.
It is unprofessional.
So basically, the minor league team said, "Enjoy yourself," and they left and they joined the Pirates organization. So now the team the Marlins are using, they're playing in like a falling apart ballpark.
Oh my
like
gosh.
complete mess. But they did it for the dogs.
Good.
Did it for the dogs.
Good. That's
is
real.
their name
They
the dogs?
should've.
Huh?
Is their name the dogs? Like, what's their name?
I don't know. I don't think so. The Grasshoppers.
Oh, that's
They just have dog like bat boys and bat girls. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
But
Should do that in the MLB.
yes, the Marlins, I think that speaks the dysfunction going on. I thought it was an interesting story to tell. And Derek Jeter,
So what's Jeter going to do? Is he going to fight the guy? What's he going to do?
It's his best friend. That's like the guy he rides for. Like, it's his guy.
So Jeter's a cat guy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I truthfully believe this is not going to be a thing. I think Jeter will finish his tenure, and I think they're
I
gone.
mean, he was never really good to begin with.
No, it's been nothing but failures. The farm system's improved, but
Hey, I'm
they
surprised
suck.
he's still going, though.
Yeah, you have to. But apparently, people within the organization, no one likes it. Don Mattingly, a lot of people think he could be getting fired soon.
Think so?
So, panic for Derek Jeter and the Marlins. I don't.
Could Girardi be a spot there?
No.
Does he have a relationship with Jeter?
Yeah, but I don't think that's the spot.
Not
I don't
yet.
think he's too good of a manager to take over a situation like that.
True.
Like when they took on Don Mattingly, he just got pushed out by the Dodgers. He was known as a guy who just couldn't get his team to the next level, you know? But yeah, Marlins will Marlins. It's going to be rough continuing moving forward. We'll take a little break here. When we come back, we're going to talk MLB rookies. We'll talk Michael Chavis, who we think is going to be the breakout players this year. But you're not going to want to go anywhere, and we got some NFL draft talk coming, so we'll catch you all in a few.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.
Pombo Milliken was just looking at Michael Chavis, who just hit a 2-run home run for the Red Sox. Oh, and makes a nice play at second base. Boom.
Nice.
Routine. This segues perfectly. So, rookies right now in the MLB, there's a surge of them coming through.
Yes.
All over. A lot of the top prospects in the MLB. If you were to pick one, which one do you think ends the year? Likely would win Rookie of the Year, but it's going to stand out amongst all of them.
I know everybody wants to say Vlad Jr. I think
I have a couple different answers.
Vlad Jr. is obviously most well known. Toronto Blue Jay, everyone knows him from his father.
Hitting
Everyone has
bombs
seen the
lately.
bombs in AAA and AA. But I'm going to go with Michael Chavis.
Okay. I think Michael Chavis will be the player that impacts like a playoff team the most. I think Vlad Guerrero Jr. will finish with the home run and like all the excitement.
Yeah.
But I think who will finish with the best line? Keston Hiura.
Think so?
Milwaukee Brewers, the second baseman.
Oh, he's the second baseman. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
he just
yeah.
hit his first home run, I believe, yesterday. Listen, this kid is ridiculous. He started last year at high A. He hit 320 with 6 home runs in 73 games. Also a ton of doubles during that time, like 34, I want to say. Then he went to double A at age 21 and held his own. This year at triple A, turned it to a different level. He hit 333 in 37 games with 11 home runs.
So you think he can be the best young player in baseball?
One
Like
of them.
that? You
I think
so?
he's the best pure hitter. I think if you're looking for a guy, the next one who's going to hit 320, 325, it's him.
Wow.
I think he's going to man second base. I think there's a chance he becomes the best second baseman in the MLB.
Wow.
I'm so huge on
Right
him.
now, there's kind of a void in terms of second basemen that are. I know Javi Baez plays second base, shortstop, but the pure second baseman. For a time, it was down to Cano and Pedroia.
Exactly. And it's the end of the era
Yeah.
for both of them. You can kind of see. But that's my opinion. I think Keston Hiura is going to step up. I think he's going to be a main piece for the Brewers for a long time. I haven't seen a guy with a hit tool like this in quite a bit.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of him to really get a good read, but I've heard the name and I've heard he's got
Power's coming
upside.
now.
Yeah.
I think Vlad Guerrero Jr., I think he's going to keep continuing to come into his own, but he has a target on his back. He's the prospect.
Yeah.
He's the closest thing to, a Bryce Harper when Bryce Harper came into the MLB, where everyone wanted to face him and just make him look bad. That's what people want to do with Vlad Guerrero Jr. right
Yes.
now. And yes, he's hit 3 home runs.
He started off rough.
Yeah. He's hit 3 home runs in the past week,
In a week, yeah.
I think there's going to be some more bumps. He's playing with that poor Blue Jays team.
Yeah.
And Chavis, who now has 9 home runs, I truly believe that he's going to be the spark plug for this team down the stretch.
I think so too.
Baseball's changing. Unfortunately, we have the electronic strike zone, which is becoming a big conversation point. The Atlantic League is within the next month planning to implement it, and it'll be in full effect. They're going to be training the umpires.
Yes.
So for people who were scared umpires were no longer going to have a job, that's not how it's going to work. The same home plate umpire will still be there. He'll have an earpiece in his ear. And for people who say it's the Atlantic League and not the MLB has a 3-year deal with the Atlantic League to try out everything they want to do. They're currently trying out no mound visits, none of those. What was the other big rule change?
No mound visits. What was the other
I'm
one?
blanking on it that everyone's been begging for.
It wasn't the pitch clock, was it?
I think they're experimenting with the different pitch clock. They're trying basically everything the MLB is hoping to implement at some point. But this new system will put an earpiece in the umpire. They'll get the call down. It's going to be the MLB people doing it, and they'll tell you on borderline pitches whether something's a ball or a strike. Now, Jason, as someone, both of us played the game growing up. Brophy, did you? No. He said Michael James.
Not gonna lie, we're struggling here.
Brophy, did you play baseball growing up?
Yeah, you know I did. I was Michael James growing up, actually.
Okay.
Awesome. I wish his mic was on the whole time.
That's me right now. But growing up, we all had moments with umpires and different stuff like that.
Oh gosh.
Do you?
Have you ever been thrown out?
I've been thrown out.
I got
twice.
close. I got really close.
I've been close coaching, but I've never.
I've been ejected
Never as
from
a
a
player.
game, and I've been
What did you do, Tyler?
I charged the mound when I was like 12, man. Yeah. I got thrown out there, and that was, fighting.
Yeah.
The other time, just balls and strikes, and I was a catcher at the time, so I wasn't even hitting. I was behind there, and I was mouthing off to this old man. And he said, "Oh, you think you're tough, Sonny?" And I said, "Nothing." And then he said, "Get out." And my dad got in a fight with the umpire after that. That's real. But yeah, I was not someone who got along with umpires real
Nice.
well.
Yeah, I feel that.
I don't know. I'm excited for this. I don't think anything bad can come out of it, personally. I think going ahead, turning
I mean,
it
I think it's good to be open-minded, be innovative. As technology grows and changes, I think it's good that MLB is realizing that they need to grow and change as well. You see a lot of other sports implementing like instant replay. MLB is too, but just stuff further, more cameras, things that can get everything 100% right.
Do you think players are going to be really upset with the strike
Oh,
zone
yeah,
call?
they're gonna
'Cause
be- yeah.
You got to think. There's certain pitches in the MLB that are a strike up high that are never called a
Yeah.
strike. Same for pitches on the outside. Like
Especially if a pitcher is working the outside corner for a long period of time.
they start to give it to them, breaking balls. The other rule change, they're talking about limiting the shift in the Atlantic League. They actually have rules going on with that.
I can hear Nate Olshan from here.
Yes. But I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think it's something that a lot of people are going to have to get used to. But if it's not removing any jobs and it's going to make things more accurate, why not? The only thing people are nervous about is how do you differentiate Jose Altuve and Aaron Judge?
Yeah, that is. Jose Altuve obviously being, 5'4", 5'5", whatever he is, and Aaron Judge being about 6'9".
Nice, Jason.
What's Altuve, 5'6"?
5'6"?
So he's about 5'5"?
Yeah, it's around that. 5'6".
Because usually when there's a short person, when they list he was 5'6", you're not 5'6".
You're usually, you're an inch
Yeah,
smaller.
that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, I don't know. I think so. What they're planning to use, because they don't have the exact technology they want right now. We're looking at the Mika strike zone. They're going to be using something similar to that for everybody. So that's going to be a bump in the road.
Yeah.
But they're trying it. Go ahead, bro.
They need to find a way to make that you're right. Different pitchers, different different batters. You need to be able to adjust this on the fly for each at plate appearance. You can't just have one strike zone for, like you said, for a difference in a foot.
Exactly.
exactly, that's
exactly. And I think there's going to be a situation where at first they're going to let umpires make the decision, and if it's a great insanely Sandy Leon with a base hit.
Nice.
Off paternity leave. Congratulations. He just had a second kid. Good
Yes.
for Sandy Leon.
Yes.
Big
Yes,
fan.
big fan.
Blake Swihart. I got to get the name out there.
Does Blake have a kid?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's living life,
All right, I
man.
didn't know. I just wanted to ask.
Maybe if he could settle down, maybe he would. But there's organizations
It's too
that
wild.
want to ship him out to Arizona. But he has 3 home runs in his last 28 bats. It's okay. I feel bad for Blake Swihart. All right, all honesty.
Back to talking Blake Swihart.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Blake Swihart for a minute.
All right.
I wasn't going to do it, but we have to.
Just go.
Listen, Blake is not getting a fair opportunity with the Diamondbacks right now.
He said he was.
He was supposed to. There was hope he would, but he's not getting a lot of consistent at-bats. He's basically a pinch hitter.
He's friends with the GM. He knows the coach.
Yes. That's why he's on the team.
What the hell is going on?
Listen. That Diamondbacks roster is flooded with guys. I told
They
you
have
before.
4 catchers.
Yes, I told you. So there's
Then
no.
why did they get him?
Because he's that much of a talent, Jason Pombo.
But they're wasting him.
But would you rather take a talent or not have a talent at all?
Am I going to use the talent?
If here and there.
Here and there. I
Listen,
don't
3
know.
home runs and 28 bats doesn't sound too bad to me.
Oh, I don't
Right?
know. Well, if they were going to use him, I want to see him get used.
That's it.
So I want to see if Tyler's really right or not.
I am right. Listen, I will fight on this hill to the day I
We
die.
may never know.
That's what I'm saying. We don't want to
If
know.
I have to own a team, I will do it. Blake Swihart's going to be 80 years old.
Where do you
but
want to play, Blake?
I think with Blake,
Just a blank check.
I don't know if the Diamondbacks are the right spot.
So he's going to get moved again? Is that what you're telling me?
I think he will be traded.
Again?
I think there's a chance he's dealt.
To where?
I wish a team like the Giants would pick him up. Even obviously they have Buster Posey at catcher, but they have no talent.
I want a team in the AL East. I want to see Tyler have to
close.
suffer.
Oh, I would love to see him in the AL East.
Orioles.
Oh,
what do you got going? They got nothing going.
No, it would be beautiful.
Toronto.
That actually leads me. So a lot of people look at the Orioles. Matt Wieters, who was there for a long time.
God,
yeah. They clinged on to him. They might be getting their next catcher of the future.
It's not Blake Swihart?
Unfortunately, it's not.
Oh.
So for people who follow the MLB draft, I know there's not a lot. I am one of the few.
So I assume they have the first pick?
Yes, they are first overall, and there's a pretty consensus top pick. Adley Rutschman, he's a catcher from Oregon State. He's a beast. He's the definition of a well-rounded catcher. Power.
Like Joe Mauer? Beast?
Yes, very similar to Joe Mauer. Probably a little more power profile, closer to his younger days. But righty bat, known for leadership skills, big body, beautiful behind the plate, can throw out, has all the skills. Everything to be a well-rounded catcher, Joe Mauer, Buster Posey type. That's the connection there. So for people who are wondering who's at the top of the boards, it's him. It's a very position-heavy draft overall this year.
Not many pitchers?
No. First six position players are first six picks are probably going to be position players.
Wow.
That's the way it's looking right now. Just a couple names for people to keep track of. Bobby Witt Jr. seems to be a lock at number 2 for the Royals. There's been a little talk that Rutschman could fall out for the Orioles because he has a shoulder issue from high school. Probably not going to be the case. The MLB draft.
So you obviously can't deal draft picks in the MLB.
No.
Which I think is stupid.
Yes.
But with that being said, do you see the Orioles kind of going out on a limb here and building around this guy?
Yeah, a lot of people were wondering if the Orioles would go, they don't want to spend the money so they can spread it out throughout the draft. That's not the case here. Just draft best player available, and that's him. Bobby Witt Jr., the pick at number 2 for the Royals. He's a 5-tool shortstop, typical guy. And then there's Andrew Vaughn, first baseman, big power guy. A lot of people are talking about. People say if the Orioles don't go for Rutschman, they go Vaughn. But otherwise, a lot of people are tying Vaughn to the Tigers.
Are they picking 4?
Yeah, big power bat, nothing crazy. It's hard with a lot of draft picks in the MLB to really... They're all, similar. You kind of base them off someone else, just like any other draft, The only issue with the MLB draft is it projects way differently than other sports.
Yeah, it's 4 to 5 years.
They switched to wooden, it's a whole different game.
Yeah, it's
wooden
a whole
bats,
different bat,
But overall, this draft, not the best, not the one they get the most excited about. It's from June 3rd to the 5th, and unfortunately, the Red Sox, they don't have a first-round pick.
Correct.
They are the 43rd overall pick. Not fun, not great at all. They got to drop back 10 places because they were more than $40 million over the tax threshold.
Yes.
So for people asking for them to spend more money, stop, please. The Red Sox,
Well, is this a draft where a pick in the 20s is valuable or no?
Yeah, the way baseball works is as you go farther along, especially in the first round, nothing's a sure bet since they're so many years away. You don't know what's going to happen. But you get more of the project base. You have to build them yourselves.
So is pick 43 valuable or no?
Yeah, it's a second round pick. You don't throw it away. You got to think how many rounds are in the MLB draft.
True. So many.
And look, Jarren Duran was a 7th round pick. Mookie Betts was a 5th round pick. So
how many rounds is the total? It's a lot. Isn't it like
it's above, it's 40,
yeah,
30
it's like
to 30 to
40,
40, something
right?
like that in that range.
Insane.
And at the end, it's kids legitimately like community college kids who get drafted, and it's just come fill a roster, do something like that. For the Red Sox right now, there's really no mention of them being attached to anyone because
you don't know who's going to be there.
It's a second round.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen. If I was the Red Sox, my guess is they've been very power athletic based recent years. I think they stay on that. Looked at probably add some more starting pitching.
Yeah.
The bottom of the minors is still really trying to find its way. But I'm excited for the draft. The Red Sox have money to spend, so there'll be plenty to talk about there. Should we take a little break here before we get into our NFL draft stuff?
Yep.
All right, we'll come back. We're going to talk on what's going on with the Jets, Patrick Peterson, and a couple other things. You're not going to want to go anywhere. We'll catch you all in a few.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.
Look at that. Michael Chavis up to the plate. What do you think happens here, Jason Pombo?
I think he grounds out to shortstop.
I'm going to say he flies out to center field.
Your pitcher.
We're going to put money on it?
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, what do we have? Do we have anything baseball related?
I think we covered all baseball.
Are we done?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
We're going to talk some Jets.
So
some Jets.
Right before
Jets.
Last week we promised Patriots draft recap. It's going to be next week.
Didn't happen.
We tried. We really did, but it'll be next week. We've let you all down. Thank you, Ben.
Slow
Thank you.
clap.
We have plenty of after. It's been a busy couple weeks in sports. Oh, Michael Chavis, the center. $1,000. Yes, I did. $1,000, Jason Pombo.
Did you say pop out or ground?
Fly out.
You said fly out?
Yep. Oh, don't try to take this away from me.
I don't think you were specific.
That counts.
Scumbag. What?
Give it to him.
What do you think I said?
What do you want?
He flew out.
What do you
I said he
want?
didn't fly out to center.
Congrats. Good job.
Thank you. That's
Good
all I
job.
have.
Good job.
Jeez. Look at jealousy really breeds itself into something special, doesn't it? Okay. Let's
I wish you dropped that.
over to the Jets. All right. So the Jets are currently a mess. Mike McKinnon was fired. He was the GM. Adam Gase is taking over as interim GM. Dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire to the fullest extent. There was rumors that they might deal Le'Veon Bell.
That Adam Gase was not happy with the money they gave to Le'Veon Bell.
Which I think is true.
I agree too. Where do the Jets go from here?
They got to hire a GM first.
It's not going to be Peyton Manning.
Got to do. It won't be Peyton Manning. 0% it's Peyton Manning. But they need to hire a GM. I know they've been linked to guys like Daniel Jeremiah.
Yeah.
NFL Network.
Can't even get his mock draft right. You expect him to know who to pick for your team. Get the hell out of here.
Gase right now is the interim GM. I think it's a dumpster fire.
He's
down
not
there.
even.
How
good
do you let
the guy who hired him just got fired,
and he went the whole offseason picking his guys.
And
he picked Quentin Williams, his guy. Signed Le'Veon Bell, his guy. Who's the linebacker they signed? Mosley, his guy.
It just goes to show the Jets.
That's a joke.
Each day they wake up and they have something different.
Just when
in
you
mind.
think they're close.
No, exactly. They're doing everything by the seat of their pants, and ultimately it kills you. This is the stuff that could derail someone like Sam Darnold.
Yes.
And that's the very unfortunate part. Because now you have guys, whoever comes to this organization next, this whole foundation is not his foundation.
Yes.
Which means he's not going to care about it.
Correct.
He's not going to be committed. He'll have no problem dealing away pieces. The pieces you thought that would elevate Sam Darnold, the next GM might just be like, whatever, what is this? You know what I mean?
No,
but what most importantly...
Or maybe they don't like the coach.
Yeah, you know what I think is going to happen at this point?
What?
They're going to basically get someone who's Adam Gase's...
so Gase is going to pick it.
Yes, it'll be Adam Gase's son. That's a good way to put it.
Friend.
Yes, you know what I mean? It'll be someone who Adam Gase will still have control, but it'll be a face to take the damage.
Yes.
You have Adam Gase. This guy fired from a coaching job is now your interim GM.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
And he doesn't want the players you already had.
Le'Veon Bell, your biggest signing in decades. The guy who's running your team now doesn't want him. There's talk, and it's not going to happen. He's not going to be traded before the season starts.
No, they can't do that.
But the fact that that's even a conversation, you're a mess.
Shouldn't Gase have had a conversation about this when he was currently employed as the GM?
What does it say that Adam Gase, the guy who hired him, what do you mean? You had no faith in the dude who hired you.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, bad.
That's insane.
Bad.
That shows the guy who had faith in you more than anyone.
That stems down
he's
from
gone.
the owner, Chris Johnson.
He's panicking. It's all panic. He's letting different voices get in his head, and you can see it.
Really bad.
Honestly, at this point, I'm very concerned. Oh, Jackie
Bradley
Jr.
It's a pop-up.
Jackie Bradley Jr.
No way.
Jackie Bradley
No
Jr.
way.
Oh, it's a pop-up. Jason Pombo. He goes Oppo.
Wow.
Woo. Jackie Bradley Jr. It's been a rough
his first
year.
of the year?
What's up? Austin Becker just walked in. Our Curry College star.
Our
leaving
musician.
Curry College. Musician, yes.
Yes.
Production
Keyboard
intern.
for us. There we go.
Intern, yes.
I love it, Ben. Yeah, look, everyone you hate. Nothing's going your way today, huh? Jason Pombo.
I guess not.
By the way, when was the last time the Jets weren't a dumpster fire?
That's a very fair claim.
1969.
Fair.
I missed the Mark Sanchez days. Really bad news came out this week about Patrick Peterson. He tested
Spent in
positive.
6 games, right?
Yep, for PEDs.
Yes.
Wow. Very tough asterisk for a guy who, throughout his career, he's been great since he entered the league.
He's
8
been
straight Pro
arguably
Bowls.
a top cornerback. This might hurt his Hall of Fame chances.
People had him as the best cornerback in the NFL still.
Yeah.
You know, it was
I
debated.
did for a while. He's a great punt returner.
Yeah.
So this is going to make Cliff Kingsbury's job a lot harder the first 6 games.
It really makes me a little concerned because you looked at him and Larry Fitzgerald as 2 of the best leaders in sports.
Yes.
Especially for a franchise that had
stability,
doesn't have a lot of that, you know? And now the defensive side of it, you have nothing. Thankfully, Larry Fitzgerald, I don't think he's going to be testing positive for anything soon, I hope.
No.
But I was really disappointed with his the way he addressed it, the way he talked about it. He didn't really care.
So this is what happened. He found out about this 3 weeks prior than he actually knew. Somebody leaked this to Schefter that isn't a fan of Patrick Peterson because it got leaked out the same day of his charity foundation. So he had to deal with those questions.
And what made it even worse is...
So he was not prepared to answer the questions at the time. It ruined his charity foundation. And so whoever leaked it to Schefter is somebody that is not a fan of Patrick Peterson. So my guess, it's probably somebody in that division.
And when things could only get worse... he actually didn't test positive for the actual PED. He tested positive for the masking agent, which means people are going to look at you and think you've been doing this your entire career and you've just been lucky and didn't mess up, and this was the first time.
Yes.
Listen, I don't think it's going to define his career. Look at Ray Lewis. You know, you can go down the line. There's no one even refers to the deer antler spray with Ray Lewis anymore. It's different. It's a different
you put
perspective
other
in the
things
NFL.
to Ray Lewis.
Yeah, no, that's true. But ultimately, I don't think it's going to impact his Hall of Fame chances. I think it's still going to be.
Yeah, you're probably
whatever.
right.
You know,
But
it'll just become
it's a stiff
thing.
penalty for him.
Yeah, and he deserves it, as you should. You know, not that I don't believe the other guys in the league. I definitely do. I think everybody's on something.
But there's ways around it. There's ways that you can.
You got sloppy.
Yes.
And I think that's why you didn't hear him take too much credibility for it. It is what it is.
Yes.
You know, it sounds like, wow, everybody else does it, and I'm the one who got caught.
Yes.
Too bad.
That's on you.
Rumors popping around. Kyle Rudolph
Yes.
to the Patriots. How you feeling?
I'd be for it. I don't think it's going to happen. I know Rudolph is obviously upset because they drafted the Alabama tight end, Irv Smith.
Said he's not willing to take a pay cut.
Now willing to take a pay cut. He wants an extension, multi-year extension, and he wants to be significantly paid like a top 5 tight end. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the Patriots have much interest in him.
The salary cap hit is $7.625. That's a lot of money for a tight end.
Yeah, I just don't see it. The Patriots have Ben Watson now. They have Austin Seferian-Jenkins. They have Steven Anderson they like, so I think they're going to be set.
Jamie Collins rejoins the team.
Correct, yes.
Jamie Collins was clown for quite a while.
He was as a freelancer.
Yes, after he was banished to the Browns.
Yes.
By
Siberia.
Bill Belichick. Yes. But he's back. He's taking a huge pay cut. It's not a guarantee he makes the team. If he does, it's a $3 million cap hit, not including incentives. But in all reality, it's a $350,000 guarantee.
Yes. So my take on Collins here, it's a low risk. He's a good locker room guy. Everyone likes him in the locker room. Do I think he's going to make the team? I don't think it's definite. Depends how the training camp and preseason goes.
He either proves that the depth they have right now, cheap money, if they can outperform Jamie Collins, you get away from the money. If not, you put that little extra money into Jamie Collins.
So maybe they're going to use this to motivate Collins, but their linebacking depth chart is pretty stacked.
Yes.
Collins can pan out between Hightower, Collins, Van Noy, Jawan Bentley coming back, Landon Roberts.
He has to prove he can do something those guys can't do.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. You know what we get to talk about now?
What do you want to talk about?
Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham
Oh, that was
Jr.
funny. That was funny.
Gosh. Do you want to tell the story?
So on Collins' show on FS1 The Herd, he talked about Odell's top 10 moments of his football career outside of playing. Like, when you think of Odell, what are the top 10 things you think of? So obviously the catcher's number one. He had the boat incident. He had the net incident when he proposed to the net.
Josh Norman.
The
peeing dog.
Yep. So he had numerous incidents that didn't. I think there was only 2 moments that added things about football. So obviously, Coward does stuff like that. So whatever.
He knew what he was doing when he.
I don't think he expected backlash. I really don't.
think. So it seems like they had somewhat of a personal relationship underneath. I'll let you keep telling.
So then the following night, Odell snapped with about 4 tweets saying, like, don't judge me for this and that, blah, 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 this and that. And he snapped on him for 4 tweets. Then Baker Mayfield came at him and was like, he's 26. He's got so much ahead of him, not behind him, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So then Colin was like, the next day he came on a show and he's like, well, that just shows you how dysfunctional they are. They're coming at me. They're
just trolling everybody.
They're giving me all this stuff, all this publicity, this and that. In all reality, Odell's been traded to the Browns 65 days ago, and he's only been in Cleveland for twice.
Which is a very real issue.
Which is a real issue. So I think at the end, Colin might have had the last laugh.
And on top of that, the tweets that Odell put him out, Baker Mayfield ended up jumping in on those tweets.
Yeah, I said that with
reiterated
he said Odell is only 26, the best is in front of him, this and that. And
ultimately, I get both sides of it.
I get both sides.
Yeah.
I wouldn't respond.
No, it makes you
not
look fragile.
It's not worth it because it shows you're listening.
And for Odell, we know
just
how
prove him wrong. Like, those are your top 10 moments. Prove him wrong.
Yeah. And for Odell, we know the talk about him. He keeps talking about only being in Cleveland a couple days. Listen, if you want to change, be there. He's stating facts.
It's changed now, but he's only been in Cleveland 2 days. One of them was with the press conference.
Yeah,
the other one was whatever else.
Baker, I hope the Browns themselves, they need to start to stay away from this drama. It's fun during the offseason, whatever.
Freddie Kitchens needs to get involved somehow.
Yes. So he looks scared to talk to Odell and tell him the truth, and that worries me.
He kind of threw that's what kind of got Collins' antennas pointed. He talked about how Odell hasn't been in the building much. Not like calling him out, but he was just like, hey, Odell hasn't been here. He's getting his mind right, this and that. But he sounded unhappy when he said it.
Get your mind right. That's what Colin stuck with. He loved that line right there.
Yes.
And honestly, he does need to get his mind right because this team is going to succeed going forward. They need to focus on football.
And Colin has a point. Odell's a new receiver in the Browns offense. Freddie Kitchens, the first-year head coach. Baker Mayfield, second-year quarterback. You probably should want to get to know your coaches. They should be inseparable. Yeah. He used the example. Brady and Edelman go to Montana every year to work out.
That's real. Yeah. It is. And, I don't think everyone's going to go to that
I'm not saying you go to Montana, but
at least be able to go to the complex.
It doesn't hurt to be at the facility every once in a while.
Yeah. Before we get into questions real quick, the next Manning generation. How do you
Arch Manning?
Arch. There we go.
Arch.
Not gonna lie, he looked better than Eli.
He's in 8th grade.
Yes, and he looked better than Eli.
Yes,
most do.
Yes, he was throwing dots, man.
8th grade, I think he's like 14 or whatever.
If anything, it made me feel old. He was playing on the varsity team.
Yeah, he's not Peyton. He's Peyton and Eli's nephew. He's Cooper's kid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cooper was the one that did not make it.
Yeah, I feel old, man. I do. Isn't it weird to see the next generation?
A little bit.
I don't know. I'm excited.
I've always thought of Peyton as old, so that doesn't make me feel too old.
Really?
Yeah.
Me too. I'm right there with you, Pombo.
Do you? I felt like I grew up with them, kind of. Just because I watched their careers.
I'll feel old when Brady retires. That's when I'll feel old.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, that's not happening for another 100 years, so we don't have to worry about that.
I will retire before Tom Brady. Our WMLN careers are going to finish before Tom Brady is retired.
That's ridiculous. Who would have thought?
Oh, man.
Yep. It's true.
Jason,
I believe that.
I believe that as well. All right, first question is, you want to start with Nathaniel?
Yep.
All right, Big Nate Olshan here. If the Mets fire Mickey Callaway, who's your guys' top choice for the Mets job? Mine's Joe Girardi.
Same here. That's definitely the best move. You're getting a manager who has worked with veterans his entire career, knows the New York media, starving for a job. There's still some young talent on that team as well. Joe Girardi, he's had an issue connecting with them, but I'm guessing at his next stop, he'll likely change that approach because it cost him the first time. Ultimately, though, I don't think Mickey Callaway is the one to blame here. You have a team of veterans who just aren't doing what you hope they do. The truth is, when those situations happen, it's on them. Something needs to spark them. Chili Davis going there. Chili Davis is the worst coach in sports. I truthfully believe it.
I don't believe he's the worst coach in sports.
Who's worse?
Who's worse? I'm going to go Hugh Jackson.
Failed this badly?
In multiple spots. I gotta think multiple spots.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Chili Davis went to the Red Sox, right?
Yep.
They won a World Series the next year. He was awful when he was with them.
Then he went to the Cubs.
Yep. Where are the Cubs this year?
They're great.
They're great. Destroyed the Cubs, and now he's at the Mets, who couldn't hit the Marlins. The Marlins hadn't won a series in how long?
Beginning of April, I think.
Yes. Or no, swept a series, I meant.
Yeah.
They hadn't swept a series, I think, in over a year. Or it was close towards the end of something like that. I think it was towards the end of last season. What are you doing? What are you doing, man? This guy does not help anyone. He teaches patience. That's his whole approach. You have to swing the bat, man. Swing. Do something. You have Robinson Cano, who, before the PED suspension, I considered him a Hall of Famer. Even with it, I would. I know a lot of people wouldn't. You have the talent on this team, and they're not doing anything. Not running around. Robinson Cano ain't running for any manager. I don't know what you're hoping to find. You think he's going to run for Joe Girardi? He walked in front of him for 10 years. It doesn't matter. That's not going to change him. You need someone there who can help guys work through slumps and find a different way. Chili Davis is not doing that. If you're looking for someone to blame, it's him. The Mets won't do that, though, because the owners are going to do anything to avoid the Wilpons. They don't want any blame going on them, so they'll fire their manager.
Yeah, I think Callaway's gone.
Yeah, so when they do that, enjoy it. It's not going to change anything for this team.
Callaway is gone before our next show.
Listen, with what Nolan Syndergaard said, that stuff should be valued. That's the pitching staff. That's the part of the team he helps the most. He's a former pitching coach with the Indians.
Yes.
If you're looking for his influence, it's there. And yes, Jacob DeGrom struggling. Mm-hmm. The same logic you want to complain. What do you think made him so great last year? It's the same argument. He was great last year and he's bad this year. Things can happen every single year. Things change. It's not that. It's not him. Is he moving the needle one way or another? I don't think so, but he's not hurting them. It's Chili Davis is the one hurting.
Next question is from Nate here. We got to do this quick. Are the Twins for real?
No. I hate to be that person.
I think the Indians still win that division.
Yes. I think they're going to be I still think the Indians win that division. I think the Twins have a chance at the wild card, but Byron Buxton is playing out of his mind right now. They have so many guys hitting great. Mitch Garver just went down, who was arguably their best hitter this year. I think that's the stuff that's going to kill them, and they need a lot of pieces to the trade deadline, and they don't have the assets to do it.
Next question is going to be the last one. It's going to be from Matt Burnett. Thank you, everyone, for submitting questions. We didn't
Happy
get to all of them.
graduation.
Yes. Should the Warriors be concerned about this KD injury?
No, not to me.
I think they're, in terms of for KD, yeah, I think he should be concerned about it, yeah.
Wait, are you speaking the Warriors or KD himself?
I think it's KD himself.
Yes, if I'm Kevin Durant, I'm terrified.
Yes.
This injury happened at the worst time it could have happened to you.
Yes.
You're about to be on the market, and we've seen it. The NBA is very weird about injured stars, no matter what. It doesn't matter who you are. Is Kevin Durant still going to have suitors? Definitely, but it just makes the process harder.
And also, we didn't get a chance to mention this, but Rob Pelinka right now is having a press conference discussing what Magic Johnson said on First Take today.
Yes. You want to hit on that real quick?
Yeah, so Magic went on First Take today, and he unleashed on Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, saying how he didn't get enough power. He wanted to fire Luke Walton, this and that. They didn't want to. That Rob Pelinka was talking crap to him, to his friends, and he talked a whole bunch of crap.
At this point, I don't blame Magic for leaving. If they were going to cling on to Luke Walton that hard, that's enough for me.
I still feel like they probably were going to fire him anyway, and they did, even when Magic left.
But if Magic felt like he wasn't going to have the ability to fire him, that would make me feel weird as well. If you don't trust Magic Johnson to make that decision, and he was in that position, that shows real dysfunction.
And Magic was saying he didn't have the necessarily time because he has a lot of businesses and stuff. So.
Which, understandable.
Yeah.
But if they were telling Magic no, and then after he left, make that decision, no one wants to be part of an organization like that, especially not someone
probably
like Magic
best
Johnson.
that the two sides separate.
Yeah, they don't get along. That Lakers organization, they have a lot of interesting voices.
Internal struggles.
Yes, internal struggles. All right, that wraps up Pombo Milliken. Next week, hopefully, we do get to our NFL draft stuff. If everything goes our way. Looks like the Red Sox are about to hold on to an 8-2 victory. I probably spoke too soon.
Yeah.
My boy Brandon Workman's pitching.
Blue Jays win 10-8.
Stop, don't say that. Watch, Jackie Bradley will hit another home run for you. But thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. If you're just catching the show now, you can catch it on our YouTube. It'll be uploaded tomorrow. Last week's episode is up there.
Yep.
So if you want to check out, hear any of our old takes, they're right there. The wrong and the right ones.
Yes.
But thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to Pombo and Milliken on YouTube. Don't forget, every episode airs live on the WMLN app. Just search WMLN in your Apple or Google Play Store.